All right, first off, I want to start off by saying all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakar Kadash. It's all praises to the one calls God and Jesus Christ. The true names in the Hebrew is Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. I want to say double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the hopeful elect, risking their life and freedom to push this word out, to call in the elect, and to get us out of this captivity, man, because that's what this is about. Is to get out of this fucking bondage, man. And the only way we're going to do that is not going to be by any carnal means. It's not going to be by taking up guns and fighting so-called white man. It's going to be through preaching this word. The scriptures tell you, so there have been many that have died by the edge of the sword, but not so many as have have perished by the tongue, man. So these words that we're putting out, these are condemning, and this is bringing this world down, man. But I'm gonna get into this article, man. This video. It's more Caucasians dying than being born, and this is big, man. You know, first off, a prudent man has to look at this and say, why would they pull this information out now? Obviously, it's gonna be a push for, these Edomites, the so-called white men, to feel pressure on him. So you know how a so-called white man acts when he gets some pressure on him, man. He starts lashing out. With them seeing there being less and less of them in the world, they're going to start lashing out. That's going to be one thing to draw away from this. And another thing is the Lord is allowing these curses to fall upon Esau. I'm going to play some of the video, man, and I'm going to get in some of these precepts.
A new study done by the U.S. Census Bureau shows Caucasians could be a minority sooner than previously thought. While the white population is aging quickly, many white Americans are delaying their decision to have a family. And as a result, the population is decreasing and minority groups are growing at a rapid speed. Correspondent Ashley Banks has more.
For the first time in U.S. history, more white people died than were born in 2016. Data shows in 26 states, whites are dying.
Just so you know that they're using this as a ploy to enrage the so-called white man. All these Caucasians out here whose biblical identity does go back to Esau, Edom. They had the nigger woman bring out the statistics and everything on this. Just enraging them more.
Faster than they're being born. Between 1999 and 2016, the number of white births fell by 10.8%. That stands at just over 2 million. Researchers suggest the reasons for this decrease are the Great Recession, a drop in fertility rates because people can't afford to have children, and a rise in mortality rates as most of the white population is aging and dying of natural causes while others are dying from drug abuse.
Now, others are dying from drug abuse, like heroin, the opioid epidemic, drop in fertility rates. Really, they're just having a whole bunch of miscarriages, man. Esau is being diminished, and Jacob is being increased. In a Great Recession, no, man, no. Because before all this, Esau was popping out kids left and right because they had the money to. Having a five children household type shit. And having more than enough money to function. And Jake was just increasing, but they couldn't even function. These curses are coming back on the Esau, man. I'm going to get this one real quick. It's a lamentation. I believe it's start at 20, I think. I'll start at 21. It says 21. It says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through thee, and thou shalt be drunken, and thou shalt make thyself naked. The punishment of thy iniquities is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. No more, he will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He shall discover thy sins." So the cup, if you read up more in this chapter, it says, They whose judgment was not to drink of the cup have surely drunk, and I believe that's in this chapter as well. You know? So these curses that are written in the scriptures, and I'm going to go over some of them after this video, starting to fall on Esau. I want this to be too long.
Overdoses. A demographer at the University of Texas at San Antonio and a co-author of the report says it seems that white people going under the 50% of the population mark might be happening a few years earlier than projected.
Which that's a lie. Esau has never been the majority in the world. The scriptures tell you that Israel will be like the sands of the sea. The scriptures tell you that when the children of Israel were afflicted in the land of Egypt, they increased more and more. You know, Israel is the majority in the world. These other nations are the minorities. So Esau's been well below that 50% mark. They just paint that number to feel some type of superiority.
Some of the states most affected by this shift are Oregon, California, Arizona, New Mexico, Florida, North and South Carolina, Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Michigan. Researchers are predicting by the year 2045, whites could drop well below 50% of the population. While the white population is decreasing, the census says minority populations are steadily rising. In 2017, the Hispanic population rose to 58.9 million, up 2.1% from 2016. The African American population rose to 47.4 million, up 1.2% from last year. And the Asian population rose to 22.2 million people, up 3.1% from 2016. The study shows although birth rates are falling at an alarming rate for whites, they're also falling amongst other races, citing there's a lack of young people supporting baby boomers. In Washington, Ashley Banks, RT.
Hey, YouTube, thanks for checking out.
You know? And now let's get into some of these scriptures, man. I already read that Lamentations. Remember, the cup is passing to Esau. No, let's see much. You know, no thirst, they've wondered, they've cried. I go to ask for a persecutors, especially the eagle. Come on, man. Let's get into some of these scriptures, man. And that cup is judgment. That cup is judgment. And that's what you have to remember. Now, what was the judgment that we were told, man? This is Deuteronomy, and I'm gonna get into some of these scriptures. This is Deuteronomy 28. I started at 18. You know what? I started at 15. It says, verse Deuteronomy 28:15. But it shall come to pass, if thou will not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Now this is talking to the children of Israel. But now the Lord said this cup is going to pass to our enemies. We'll get that in Deuteronomy, the 30th chapter, 30 and 7. It says, and Yahweh thy power will put, verse 6. And Yahweh thy power will circumcise. It says, and Yahweh thy power will circumcise thy heart in the heart of thy seed to love Yahweh thy power, and with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, that thou mayest live. And Yahweh thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. Now the scriptures tell you that the accuser of our brethren, that was Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. Now this is back in Deuteronomy 28. I'm going to jump down to verse 18. It says, cursed shall the fruit of thy body be, cursed shall be the fruit of thy body, and the fruit of thy womb of thy land, the increase of thine kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. So curse is going to be the fruit of thy body, your children. Esau, it says in the scriptures, in the book of Job, it tells you if his children be increased, it is for the sword. You know, these curses are falling back on Esau, Edom now. The so-called white man is falling under the same curse that the so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans have been under, and they can't take it. Verse 19, cursed shalt thou be when thou comest in, and cursed shalt thou be when thou goest out. Man, Esau's shit is not working for him anymore. I mean, just take a look outside, man. Take a look outside in any inner city, man. You see these Edomites out here on the street like Jake used to be. Assed out. No ends meeting. You know? That's a curse. So, jump down to verse 21. Yahweh shall make the pestilence cleave unto thee until he have consumed thee from off the land, whether thou goest to possess it. And pestilence is cleaving to the Esau Edom, man. It is cleaving. They're getting cancer at all-time highs. Colon cancer, skin cancer, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. You know, they're getting cancer at an all-time high. And you know, Jake used to be the one getting fucked up health-wise. I mean, they still are because they're eating all this bullshit. But the Lord's putting these curses on Esau Edom right now, man. The so-called white man is out here looking bad, man. Verse 22, Yahweh shall smite thee with a consumption and with a fever and with inflammation and with an extreme burning and with a sword and with blasting, with mildew, and they shall pursue thee until thou perish, man. And all these things are going on to the so-called white man, man. Look at him, man. He's dying at an all-time high, man. He's getting sexual transmitted diseases at an all-time high, which he created for Jake. You know? You can see this thing out here, man. Esau is crumbling. These curses are on him, man. You know, when they talk about gun violence, really the ones that are dying majority from gun violence are these so-called white people. And it's between themselves. It's white on white crime. Verse 43. It says, the stranger that is within thee shall get above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. And that's happening, man. That's why you see all these so-called white people out here in these low-level positions. I went to a pizza place yesterday, and Esau got to be pushing at least 65, sitting there working at a fucking a Papa John's, man. You know, 65 years old working at a Papa John's. You know, I would have never seen that shit when I was a child. And Jake is in the head positions. Jake is at the capital, as at the pinnacle of enterprise, man. You so-called Hispanics, Native Americans, and natives, man. You know, you Negroes, you're at the top of enterprise right now, man. And Esau's down here very low, man. That's why he hates you so much. Now, verse 61. Also, every sickness and every plague which is not written in the book of this law, Yahweh will Yahweh bring upon thee until thou be destroyed. And it's happening, man. Cancer, colon cancer, mental illnesses, heroin addiction, opioid overdose, heroin overdose, meth, depression. You know, all these things are all clinging on the so-called white man. It says, verse 62, and ye shall be left few in number, whereas you were as the stars of heaven for multitude, because thou wouldest not obey the voice of Yahweh thy power. And this was a curse that was put on us, but you could see it falling on Esau, man. Verse 63, and it shall come to pass that as Yahweh rejoiced over you to do good and to multiply you, and Yahweh gave, favor to the wicked, said, let favor be shown unto the wicked, yet will he not learn righteousness. Look, Esau's had his hand to do whatever he will in the world. So the Lord gave him enough time to do whatever the fuck he wanted. He got the green light. So as the Lord rejoiced over you to do good, to do what you wanted, to prosper, and to multiply you, so Yahweh will rejoice over you to destroy you and to bring you to naught, and ye shall be plucked from off the land whither thou goest to possess it. And this was a curse that was on us that is now going to the so-called white man. These things are evident, man. I didn't want this to go on this long, but man, this is Exodus 23 and 30. It says, but by little, no, I'll start up a little bit. It says, Exodus 23 and 29, I will not drive them out from before thee in 1 year, lest the land become desolate, and the beasts of the field multiply against thee. But little by little and little will I drive them out from before thee, until thou be increased and inherit the land, man. And that's what is happening, man. The Lord's driving these Edomites out, man. He's letting them die off. It's Deuteronomy 7 and 22. Yahweh thy power will put out these nations before thee little by little. Thou mayest not consume them at once. It says, thou mayest not consume them at once, lest the beasts of the field increase upon thee. You know? The Lord's doing these things right now, man. The so-called white man's rulership is gone, man. It's out the fucking door.